Pipe dream. Penis goggles to 30. Go check out. Welcome to another week of the BudHole. Tonight we have a scary episode. Seeing how we went to a place called Screamtown this weekend, Scott, Gage's Rage, and myself, and we are lucky enough to have the owner of Screamtown on, Matt Dunn. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, how are you guys? Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yes, doing pretty great tonight. We all had an awesome time at Screamtown over in Chaska, Minnesota. You're the owner, correct?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I lost you there or something. My phone reconnected or something. Say that one more time for me.
Yeah, so we met you at Chaska, Minnesota, the Screamtown, and I believe you're the owner of that location there?
That's me, yeah. I've been doing it now for 15 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
Doing it for a while, so you started back up in 2005 then?
Yeah, 2005, yeah. It's been Screamtown for 13 years, and it had a different name prior to that. But, so about 15 years total.
Awesome.
Okay.
And what got you into starting up a haunted house walkthrough like this?
Well, I was always a home haunter. I kind of decorated my parents' house as a kid and did that for many, many years, and then wanted to try something more professionally.
Very cool. Do you have any other locations in Minnesota or across the country here?
No, we have Screamtown, and then right next door we do an event called the Abandoned Hayride, and that is a drive-through this year. So we kind of get the two events kind of working cohesively together.
Actually, before we went out, I was telling my parents about it, and back in the day, we went on the Abandoned Hayride probably around 06, 07, so I think I've been out there before, but it was a long time ago, so a whole different experience. But cool that you've been doing it for so long. That's awesome to keep it going like it is, and how much fun it is.
Thank you.
It's got to be, a lot of work put into designing the houses and finding the actors and everyone to do the scary parts, the screaming, the jumping out at people, all that.
What do you mean actors?
The real people out there that are haunting these houses.
That's what I thought.
How do you find your talent that works for you?
We put out a lot of calls through, Facebook and on our website and Craigslist, looking for people that just want to go out and have fun. And that's exactly what we find. We find some people that just love this stuff. We had a guy show up just about 2 weeks ago that wanted to come out and work for us, and he was wearing just a crazy costume. He had on like Minotaur hooves and a full like taxidermied headpiece. And I said, "Where'd you come from?" And he's like, "Yeah, I live in Minneapolis." And I was like, "Well, have you done this before?" And he said, No, just came up with this costume and wanted to do it. So, people just sometimes appear out of nowhere and they want to have fun with us.
Okay, cool.
Maybe not the guy I want to see in my apartment complex, but at a haunted place, yeah, definitely.
Right.
So
exactly.
Do all the employees bring their own costumes, or do you guys provide some stuff? Or?
They supply their own stuff, and we found that it provides a much more kind of creative environment for them, and it's just nice to see their creativity, and then they get to personalize it themselves and take care of it, and yeah.
So how do you fit that into, obviously, I believe online it says you have 6 different houses or buildings that you go through. With the non-VIP admittance, you get 4 of them, I believe is what it was. How do you?
Yeah, there's 4 regular ones and 2 VIP ones, and then we just kind of bring them out during orientation and let them kind of see the attractions and get their own ideas together, and then people, it's just amazing, come up with some real fun stuff.
So they go into a house and you're like, okay, this is going to be the area that you're working, and then you get to come up with however you want to dress.
Exactly.
Oh wow. Okay, and what do you guys do with the buildings the rest of the year? Are they permanent buildings, or do you bring them on site?
So everything that we have out there is open air, so there's no actual ceilings to these things. It's open air mazes, which has pluses and minuses. We can't heat it, and we can't, if it rains, you're going to get wet. But at least for COVID this year, it's been safe because it's a good opportunity for people to come outside and be a little safer in an open air maze. And so, we leave up the mazes during the year and put away the rest of the stuff during the season. But it's a long process. Even just that, we start working on it in April, and put a lot of time and effort into the whole show.
Definitely.
So is this your full-time job then? Are you starting up in April and you're thinking of ideas come all year round and just trying to find the next thing and open up in October?
Yeah, my background is in entertainment. I'm an entertainer and a magician, and so I bring some of those elements into Screamtown. So it's not just scary; it's also entertaining, and you're going to see some, illusions and some other fun stuff, especially on the drive-through this year. And so between the two of those things, that keeps me pretty busy year round.
Oh, cool. So this is one personal question I had when I was running through. Did you have any? Do you have like a best employee or a best scarer in the town this year?
There's not just one. We've got several that have been with us for many years, and they just do a phenomenal job. It's amazing how much energy they have, but usually they've got to be in their 20s to be able to accomplish that type of energy, because it's after 30, it starts to hurt to be an actor.
I believe that.
Do you have people that like to come back year after year then? So people who maybe for like
very
5, 6
very
years
dedicated. No, very dedicated. This is their passion. They love to do it, but at some point people do kind of throw in their mask and say, hey, that's it for me, but just because life takes them in a different direction. But a lot of times it's a real passion for these people.
And fortunately, there's so many people out there that love Halloween and love scary movies and the whole vibe of everything, that I'm sure that you have a pool that replenishes every year. Even when somebody leaves, you have more people that come back and are just more enthusiastic to come in and do this.
You nailed it. That was exactly right.
And then I think you had said some stuff about the COVID, but what other difficulties has this year brought on with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, we have a very creative team, and we're good at problem solving and figuring out solutions to challenging issues. And so we started working on this right away when it happened, and we changed the flow of how the event goes. So you kind of go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, so that you kind of keep your distance from other people, and everybody's moving in one direction. So that, coupled with the fact that we're already outdoors, and then we're requiring guests to wear masks, kind of got us in a good position to keep things safe for people and time tickets. And then for the drive-through, that was a good pivot to move away from the hayride and keep people safe in their cars.
So with people going through their cars, the first thing I thought of when we talked about possibly going through the drive-through was when somebody like jumps out at you or jumps in front of your car, is there a risk of like somebody freaking out and accidentally hitting like the gas pedal and moving forward? What kind of, causes and concerns
there were people that said that. And you know what? I went through a family-friendly drive-through the other day, and you go over a little bump, and a loud bell rang. It was very loud. It was very startling to me. And first thing I did was slam on the brakes. So the idea that people are just going to get scared and gun it, we haven't seen anything like that. We haven't had any issues or accidents, and we keep a lot of the actors themselves on stages, and people want to go slowly anyway to see this stuff, and it's we've had a good experience so far. It's been very safe.
And I suppose if people are anything like the actors in scary movies, they're going to do the one thing that gets the scary person closer to your vehicle and puts them in more danger. So instead of speeding away, they're probably going to stop and roll down their window.
Right, exactly.
So in 15 years, I'm sure you've come across every and any scenario. Is there any like really frightening moments for some customers that stick out in your brain? Maybe pants wetting here or there, something like that?
That customers that have really freaked out, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In your 15 years, what's like the most terrified a customer has ever been?
I've seen a lot of different scenarios. I've seen people. We have our big finale this year is our woods walk, and
yes,
I remember being in there once, and I was working on something, trying to fix a light bulb, and a guy came up to me and said, hey, my girlfriend, she's got to get out of here. And I said, give me a break. She's fine. And he goes, no, she is having an absolute meltdown, and we need out, right now. And so I've seen people have real panic attacks and freakouts, and it's interesting though. Different things scare different people in different ways. And I just saw someone this past weekend, a gal. I said, what are you doing over here? And she goes, I can't go over there. I can't go anywhere near there because of that clown outside. And I said, what do you mean you can't just keep moving? And she said, I can't. I gotta go. And she bolted. She couldn't handle it. She couldn't even look at it.
Do you walk through these on your own as well? Like, do you go through as?
Oh yeah,
as somebody,
I go through often, and I'm a bit like the orchestra conductor out there. I'm going through and making the whole show run and work, and making suggestions and making sure people are okay at the same time, and yeah.
So in 15 years, do you still get scared walking through there? Are there still frightening moments that kind of make you jump, or does it tame down a little bit?
Hey, some of these actors, I tell them, I say, if you see me, scare me. That's what I want to see you do. I want to see you do your performance. So yeah, these guys get me to jump, even though I know where some of this stuff is. We have a lot of startled speakers too, things that trigger if you walk by it screams at you or makes a terrible sound, and some of that stuff. You go, how is that still getting me? It's awful.
I've noticed that on with some of the actors out there, and even some of the jump scares, is that it's not always at the first person walking through as a group. Sometimes they hold back and they try to get the third or fourth person, or the person at the end of the line. And I think that's really good, because when you're walking through, if you're following behind and you see somebody jump out at the first person, you're like, okay, all right, that happened. I can calm down a little bit.
Clear.
But if they sneak up behind you and they get you, that's a whole different vibe.
Right.
Yeah, the actors, they definitely did a good job of, I think, picking out who would be the scaredest out of a group, and kind of picking on that person.
Yeah, that's half the battle. If you can entertain the rest of the group by picking on your friend that really hates this stuff, it's going to be fun.
So, you had mentioned some of the actors being a lot younger and having to have that endurance. Because you guys are open. What are your guys' hours?
Pretty much 7 to 11. Sometimes that varies by a little bit, but yeah, 7 to 11, basically Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah, so we came in there 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, and it was I think it was very enjoyable. But one question that popped in my head while we were walking through: do you think the actors have more energy at the beginning of their shift versus towards 10, 11 at night?
I'm sure it varies for every person. I know the other night I gave an award to a guy that I saw at 10:45 at night. His attraction had already closed. He came out. He was darting around like a rabbit and scaring people that were leaving another attraction. And so, I'm sure it depends on kind of what your day's been like and your energy level. But some of these guys have just incredible energy, and they just get a real high off of scaring people.
Do you have a favorite scary movie, and do you take any inspiration from horror movies?
Well, this is going to blow people's minds, but I didn't really like scary movies as a kid. It wasn't my thing, and but now as I get older, I do like to watch them because I get good inspiration. And some of those Insidious movies, the guy that does those, I forget his name. He also did the Nun, I think, and some other ones of that. And those are great, and they are good for ideas and scenes. So I don't know if I have a favorite, but I'm getting more into it as I get older. It's enjoyable.
And then I guess not to circle back to COVID too much, but on a yearly basis, how is like a normal year when we're not dealing with the pandemic that's going on? How's the vibe there? Do you guys have like bands afterwards and everything that people can kind of listen to, or areas to kind of
not usually
out?
We try to keep. Yeah, we not usually with bands. We try to keep the area pretty spooky and kind of atmospheric. But we do have places you can get food, and there's a tarot card reader traditionally, and some other areas to hang out. But we really, for this year, kind of eliminated a lot of congregational areas, even the fire pit. We just said, we don't want people gathering around a fire and hanging out in a crowd of 50. So most of the stuff, there's some food and beverages still available, but in a gift shop. But we're kind of encouraging people to keep things moving this year. But back in, hopefully when all this gets resolved, the party will continue, and we always have something fun.
For sure.
I think my last question, there was an event or a circumstance that happened at, I think, Valley Scare a couple years ago. It was sort of like a mob fight, and, there's those scary movies that are made about attractions like this and people actually being abducted or murdered during the...
I think Hellfest comes to mind. That's the most recent one, yep.
So is there any sort of, stigma or rumors that go around scary attractions like Screamtown that kind of affect your attendance, or what are your thoughts on that stuff?
Boy, I haven't heard anything about that. I'm not quite sure. I think I recall what you were talking about, maybe with Valley Scare, but really all these events are about safety, and we want to keep everybody safe, and we've got a large security team, as does the Valley Scare, and they're friends of ours. And you're dealing with teenage kids sometimes that want to have a little extra fun that they shouldn't be, and But we're good at keeping that stuff under control and making sure people are having a good time.
Do you bounce ideas off of like the owner of Trail of Terror and Valley Scare? Do you guys kind of stay in contact and chit chat about?
There's some of us that chat more than others, and there's a big Halloween trade show in St. Louis every year that we usually go to. We didn't this year, of course, but it's nice to kind of see people there and come up with new ideas and socialize. And it's overall, we're all friendly, competitive, but we're also friends.
There's a community around it, which is nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice to share and take care of each other and back each other up whenever we all need help.
Awesome.
This upcoming weekend, is this the last weekend, or are you guys open past?
Yeah, it's our last weekend. Friday through Sunday. So, and it looks like it's going to actually be beautiful weather. So the snow, I think, is going to be gone by Friday, and looks like Saturdays could be up to 50 degrees. So, those people that aren't doing Halloween parties or something this year, it's going to be a great night to come out for Halloween.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
My recommendation to anybody going out there is wear some boots. I wore my tennis shoes. It was a little muddy, which adds a nice little twist to it, but I just wish I wouldn't have worn my nicer shoes.
Yeah. It's funny. It really varies out there. It depends. If it's dry for 2 days, it gets real hard.
Quick.
And then and then like even the day you came, the next day, we actually had people slipping because it was so it had all gotten frozen and it was slippery. So it varies. Most of the time, though, we've got pretty good conditions out there.
Yeah, sounds like this weekend will be great for it. I guess last thing I'll mention, I'm from Anoka, Halloween capital of the world. Have you ever checked out Anoka's festivities?
I can't usually do any of that stuff because I'm so busy. I know we've talked about doing the parade, but yeah, you guys need a haunted house over there. I can't believe no one's done one yet. You gotta get something over there.
Yeah, they're definitely an open opportunity, and it's a booming economy or region to have something going. Halloween capital of the world.
I think it was very nice of you, Matt, to agree with him that Anoka is the Halloween capital of the world. Because he's been trying to die on that one. Yeah.
It's the 100-year anniversary this year.
I don't know who they are, but Gage is one of them.
Yeah.
And then I guess my last question for you is, for people who've gone this year or maybe gone in years past, what do you have to say that's going to draw them back? Like, what's the reason to come back year 2, year 3, year 4, and make it a tradition?
Yeah, I think a lot of our customers who come out, they're so wowed the first time that they like to come back again. And then when they come back again, they go, wow, there's so much new stuff. And that's really what we do. We have a passion for what we do out there, and we care about everybody having a good time. It's kind of bizarre. If we hear one person say something bad, we want to make sure they're happy and fix it and learn from whatever their likes are, which is weird because people can. There's all kinds of people that have opinions on things, and they're always going to vary. But it means our customers mean a lot to us, and we always try to put on a great show. So people that have been out there before, they know we're adding stuff all the time and changing things up and creating new scares. So it's a worthwhile show to check out because it's always changing.
Awesome. Well, I think that we're planning to go back next year. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, the girls we brought had a great time too. We, as a group, I think we all had a blast. So
I don't scare it super easy, but there were a handful of times where you're just not expecting something. Somebody jumps out and they got me. So it was a lot of fun.
Good. Well, thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Take
for
care,
joining
Matt.
us, Matt.
Okay, you guys take care as well.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Tip. And that was Matt.
Matt Dunn with Screamtown out of Chaska, Minnesota. If you haven't been to a haunted house or a haunted scary fest or anything along those lines, I definitely suggest checking out Screamtown.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, there was a lot of variation to the houses. There was so much different stuff. I mean, like you said, the different actors that are there, they all have different lines that they say and different ways to scare you. And some of them are like following you around. Some of them try and block you and hit things against walls. Some jump out behind walls.
The strobe lights that blind you, and then you get something that flashes in front of you.
I know.
Leave some surprise for the people going this weekend, guys. Come on.
Hey, you don't know when it's coming. It doesn't matter.
Man.
It doesn't matter how much we say. We can't do it justice because you have to go to actually experience it and live it.
And there is the actors, but there's also a fair amount of props, and even the props kind of got me at times.
the things that jump out at you, and I think one of them was like a fear phobia area or whatever.
Yep.
So they had clowns, they had snakes, they had like chainsaws and tight little areas to walk through. At the one house that you had to like crouch and almost damn near crawl through, it felt like it was a lot of fun.
Claustrophobia.
Yeah,
there was
claustrophobia.
some of that. Yep, it was a lot of fun. It was a great weekend and a great way to spend a Saturday night.
Absolutely, I want to go back.
Check it out. You said Chaska?
Chaska, Minnesota. Yep.
Scream Town, Chaska, Minnesota. 1 weekend left. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And the time slots, that worked out pretty slick. You don't have to worry about being right on time. We were running about 10 minutes late because the Gophers were breaking our hearts, but that's a scary story for another night.
How long is the entire process of you going through?
It's like
8 to 10?
Yeah, roughly 2 hours or so.
Couple hours.
I mean,
a half hour per attraction.
Yeah, I'd say that's...
There's people in front of us, too, so I mean...
And the last one was the longest.
Yeah.
So that one was probably about 45 minutes.
They got Gage so good on that. He was so shook having to walk through the woods that they dabbed him with a dauber.
The dauber.
And they put the red on his wrist, and we walked through the whole thing. We get out, and he's like, dude, I was marked. I was marked during the walk.
Totally forgot about the dauber. The last attraction was so intense.
Did you cut yourself? Are you bleeding? Are you okay? It's not blood. It's not blood. Scott pulls out his wrist, and he's got red on it. He's like, they got both of us. Maybe it was on the walls.
Too.
God, it was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They have you could get beer, you could get wine beforehand, afterhand. Plenty of restrooms to use during the time. Pretty fun from a guy that's from the Halloween capital of the world.
Self-proclaimed. The only thing, and this goes for every haunted house and situation like that, is I wish spacing. Spacing is tough because, like I said, when you're the first person that walks through and you get jump scared, then everybody behind you in your group doesn't quite get it the same. And when you're too close to another group, that's what kind of sucks.
Yeah,
because you're right there with them. They jump in front of you. You're like, oh, okay, so there's a guy there. So now that one's not going to do it for me.
And I'd say generally, like I said, they did a really good job. I'd like to ask your wife her opinion because she was definitely the one that was getting picked on the most, I'd say.
I think so.
And it's like you could just kind of see it in her. In the group, she was probably the most one that's vulnerable for a scare.
She got a couple good jump scares there. It was fun though.
Yeah, I had a blast. Definitely would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
I think it's ages 10 up, so it's like you said, a family-friendly event. Go check it out.
Absolutely. Well, I don't have too much more to say on it. I had fun.
Yeah,
go.
I did too. Star?
I didn't go. I didn't get invited. Thanks, guys.
I told Gage. I blame Gage.
I didn't want you to seventh wheel, man.
Dude, I've been a spare wheel for a long time.
It actually, as we go through the line, the one lady's like, oh, there's a girl. She's single here. She likes fast food. And not working out. She seems like an okay time.
Are you trying to get me hot and heavy right now, Brandon? What are you doing?
Star can't stand. I'm pretty sure she said she was over 18.
And then she went to the group. She's like, and they're all teenagers.
And then we didn't think it'd be any more.
All right.
I did get scared one time in line while we were going from, I think, second to third attraction. There was a little bit of a waiting line. And there were some guys with, like, pots and pans. Like, obviously this isn't going to scare me. But I turned my back for 1 fucking second. And I looked back forward. Wham! Pan right in my face. Definitely spooked the shit out of me.
Did they social distance?
Everyone was wearing masks. They were all good. But the scary guys, the actors, were definitely not
they were near you.
Distance.
They were up in you.
Yeah. They were blocking the groups, separating you guys.
Banging things against walls right in front of you. I mean... They did a good job. They were all wearing something, so it wasn't anything to be concerned about.
Definitely following all guidelines. But
yeah,
that's. I think that'll wrap up BudHole After Dark this week.
Check it out.
Next week, maybe we'll dive into Fall of Cabal or
something. Maybe Scott's got a serial killer. I don't know.
We'll see what's cooking up.
Your adrenochrome?
Adrenochrome,
yep. Finally made mainstream media. I sent you that video.
Oh, fuck.
There's a new documentary that was released that covers it. That's Amazon Prime. So,
what's the name of it, Star?
It's called Borat Subsequent Movie Film. And Borat runs into the two smartest scientists in the US of A
The U.S. of A.
Teach them about adrenochrome. So maybe
I like the way Sasha wears his, or Borat wears his masks too.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one yet?
No, down below. It's a straight V mask.
It's a mask bikini.
Yep. Very nice.
Go check off.
Go check off.
Bye. Check out our website, www.officialbudhole.com. We're on all socials at officialbudhole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time. Can you mute us? He was cracking up.
Dude,
He was listening to the intro.
halfway through the intro, I realized what we were all saying in it, and I fucking lost it.
He was cracking
He was cracking up when he heard that intro. Holy shit.